Hello and welcome to your stocks on CNBC TV18. Well, it's turning out to be a day where we are seeing some amount of some amount of gains for the markets at this point in time. In fact, we do have the mid-cap index, which is up around 0.5%. And we do have the bank nifty, which is up around 0.2% at this point in time as well. We have a lot of stocks which are in focus today in terms of queries. We have a lot of PSU banks which are gaining as well. So IOB is up around 12.5%. Yes Bank, which is up around 11.5%. We have a couple of other stocks which are in focus, such as Paytm, which is seeing a little bit of a comeback today. So up around 10% for that particular stock. So definitely a very lively market in terms of stocks, as you can see on your screen. For the Nifty and the Sensex, just about consolidating. We have Rajat Bose joining in from rajatkbose.com and Sharad Avasthi, who is the head of PCG research at SMIFS, to answer all of your stock queries today. Well, gentlemen, welcome to the show. Rajat, let's kick off the show with you. Just a quick query with regards to what you are tracking in terms of the technicals of the market, the outperformance that we're seeing marginally for the mid caps.
Good afternoon, Ekta. Thank you for having me. I would like to start with the Nifty. Nifty, now it needs to take out that 22,126. Once that is done, then we can say that the island reversal that happened just prior to that Ram Mandir consecration, that time the high was 2124, and we had another high a few days back at 2126. This range needs to be taken out decisively. But as of now, if you see that there are red candles or market is opening higher and going down, but so long as the 9 and 20-day exponential moving averages are not taken out decisively, I don't think that you have any major concern as such. And these two moving averages are currently located at 21,771, that is 9-day, and 21,687. So you need to fall below 21,650. After that, things would turn bad, but not before that. So this kind of profit taking might happen. Only two concerns I would mention out here is that the India VIX is close to 16. It is very close to the major problematic area of 17.5 to 18. If that is taken out, then there would be good amount of selling that is likely, because the volatility would increase quite a bit. And regarding the CNX mid-cap, I would say that you don't have to worry much. The bank nifty goes down, nifty goes down. This index comes down a bit and then moves up continuously. So long as the SIP money continues to come in, I don't think you have nothing much to worry on the CNX mid-cap thing.
Okay, well, it's not only FIIs, it is also definitely a lot of the DIIs which are participating in terms of the markets. But let's get in a couple of queries now. Sharan Kumar writes to us from Gurgaon. He holds 200 shares of Tata Chemicals, which he's bought at around 850 odd rupees. So he's sitting on a profit there. He wants to know what to do, whether he should hold or sell this particular stock. Well, Sharad, let's start with you on this one. In terms of the fundamentals, what would you recommend on Tata Chemicals? Do you think it probably has more to go?
Yeah, I think you should continue to hold on. One of the largest players within the segment it operates into. And the demand for soda ash and products like this should receive a boost from the EV and solar penetration that we are seeing globally. I think Tata Chemicals should also benefit from it. Right now, the mood is a bit subdued. I think rallies also should contribute very handsomely as the agrichem cycle reverses. So all in all, I think these two businesses should support. And right now, they have around 4.3 MTPA capacity. They're expanding it to 5.3. Even sodium bicarbonate, though it's a small portion of the total revenues, they are handsomely doing expansion there also, and the rest of the businesses also. So I think long term, you can expect a smart improvement in the numbers. I think growth gradually as soda ash prices start recovering. I think there is a possibility that you would see a much better recovery in forward earnings as well. So I think it should easily trade at anything between 12 to 15 times. So considering that, I think 1100 to 1200 should be the fair value for the stock. So continue to hold for targets of around 1100, 1200.
Oh, Okay, hold for targets of around 1100 to 1200, 1140 is where the 52-week high for Tata Chemicals was. But Rajat, coming to you on Tata Chemicals, it hasn't done much for investors on the charts. 990 odd rupees is where it's at, 922 is where its 52-week low was. What would you recommend on Tata Chemicals?
I would take recourse to the two recent highs and lows. One is 1141, that was around 1st of January, the week starting 1st of January 2024. And I think this week it tested 935. So this is the basically this is the range, say about 925 to about 1150. So once 1140 to 1150 kind of range is taken out, you can see some amount of bullishness coming in. I quite agree with Sharad because my technical targets are coming around 1229 to about 1281. And only if the stock falls below 900 decisively, then you will see a lot of problems. But this week, today, I think is the midweek, and it is posting a hammer line that suggests that Tata Chemicals in the short term might again try to scale up to at least 1050.
Okay, all right. So that's on Tata Chemicals. Not done much on a 12-month basis. As you can see, the stock is just about lower by around 1.6%. We have another caller, or we have another query now. We have Tribhuvan Solanki, who writes to us from Mumbai, holds 400 shares of Zomato, which is bought at an average price of 134 odd rupees. So just about sitting on a marginal profit, wants to know what to do, what the future of this stock is in the short term. So he has a short-term outlook on Zomato. Well, when you're talking about short-term, Sharad, we do have the numbers from Zomato this week as well. So what would you recommend in terms of how one would probably approach Zomato ahead of its numbers? What are you expecting from it?
See, in terms of numbers, I think growth should continue to be good only. There are no hiccups in terms of growth, etc. The only problem with Zomato continues to be with valuations. I think the whole space really trades at obnoxious valuations. Considering the price he's brought in, I think he's the daredevil kind of investor who doesn't care about these traditional valuation matrices. So I think if you are going by that, maybe it trades at say 7-8 times forward market cap to sales. Then you could be looking at another 15 to 20% kind of upside. So you can target that. In terms of numbers, I think they are expected to report 2.753 rupee kind of EPS 2 year down the lines. Maybe it goes a rupee higher because of some optimism and something that happens. But even then at 140, I think I would be better off buying a renowned established FMCG player at that price rather than going for a Zomato. But then considering that he is a daredevil kind of investor and we are in a risk on kind of movement, there is a possibility that it can trade at 8 times market cap to sales. But by traditional metrics, I would not recommend a buy or hold on this stock at these valuations. But someone who wants to go in and play the market with a risk on kind of strategy, you could expect another 15 to 20% upside.
Okay, quickly, what would you recommend on the technicals? It's been a great rally for Zomato from its 52-week low. Do you think it has more to go? I mean, it's 140. Its highest price in 52 weeks was 145. Rajat, over to you on this one.
First, a disclosure that I personally hold some shares of Zomato in my portfolio. And that was a long time back. But I would not give a recommendation because that would hamper my decide to sell or buy or whatever. So I just mentioned the technicals. Technicals, short term, slightly weak. But again, the 20-day moving average around 135 that needs to be taken down. Only then you will see some kind of weakness. Otherwise, the stock on the intermediate term, the medium term, it doesn't have long-term history, at least. So those trends are up. One can continue. I personally continue to hold. So how can I say that you get out of it?
Okay, all right. Done well for Zomato. That stock has rallied significantly over 150 odd %. Need to take a quick break. We'll answer more stock queries on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Well, we have the Nifty, which is up around 38 odd points. Just want to point out one particular stock. State Bank of India is doing well today. In fact, it's the top gain on the Nifty, up around 3.5 odd percent. And remember, it's been a relative underperformer as compared to other PSU banking stocks. So on a month-to-date basis, it's gained only around 5 odd percent as compared to a couple of its peers, which have gained significantly within that period. So case in point would be something like an IOB, which has rallied around 76% already, or 55% in a month. So that's the kind of comparison that we're talking about. But nonetheless, we need to wrap up on the show. And on that note, we're excited to, before that, we're also going to thank our guests, Rajat as well as Sharad. Thanks very much for joining in and staying with us and answering all of those queries. We need to wrap up, but we are excited to announce that CNBC-TV18 is back with the second season of India's largest campaign on gender parity. Join us for the mega launch event of HSBC presents CNBC-TV18's Future Female Forward, the Women's Collective, with top leaders, influencers, policymakers and trailblazers, all under one roof to chart a path towards bridging the gender gap. Live from Delhi on Saturday, 10th Feb, 5 p.m. onwards, only on CNBC-TV18.